All right, guys, we are picking up the Chris Miles. He has retired twice, and he's just got a really interesting story. So I'm going to ask him one question only. How do you make money? And let's just see what he's going to talk about. That's what we're going to do today. Here we go. Let's do this. The one and only. Here we go. It's always nervous when you get right into an interview. The man.
How's it going?
How's it going, dude?
Good.
It's good to meet you. Officially.
Yeah,
First time in person.
Yeah. Good
Well,
to meet you guys.
You want to go have some fun in a limo?
Let's do it.
After you. How's it going, man?
Man, I'm awesome.
I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun. So, how do we want to do this?
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll ask you the big question?
You bet. So, I'm semi-retired.
Okay.
I work part-time because nobody will let me retire, right? Because everyone wants to know, how'd you do it? How'd you retire twice by the time you're 39? That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm basically
I gotta know more about that, by the way.
It's awesome, but I'm basically an anti-financial advisor, right?
Okay.
So I tell people
I love it.
So I tell people to do the opposite stuff that financial advisors will tell you, because they're all brokers, right? They're broker than you and I are.
They are definitely broker, aren't they?
And they're great people, right? They're obviously good, but they don't get it. They don't actually know how to become financially free. They don't know how to create passive income streams. So they work because they want to, not because they have to. Right.
Anyway, that's exciting, man. So I think it's going to be super fun just to kind of go into that a little bit more. So we're hanging out in a limo, just hanging out. We have one question.
Yeah.
How do you make money? And we're not talking about how much money do you make. But the different, I love this idea of what you're talking about. You have different streams of income. What works for Chris Miles? That's what I want to know.
So basically what I do is I've got 3 different types of incomes, right?
Okay.
You got active income, which is money you make from actually doing the work. And I only work 20 to 30 hours a week. That's my max, right?
Okay.
Anything more than that, I feel like I've worked overtime.
Okay, I love this.
I've got passive income. That's money I have coming from investments and things of that nature. Then I have residual income, which is money coming from my own businesses and the different streams through that. Granted, you could call them either or, right? But that's how I distinguish between them.
Okay.
With all of that, I have about 16 different streams of income.
Wow.
2 of them are active. So the active ones I do is...
Wait. Double-digit streams of income.
Yeah.
And you didn't hesitate. You knew the number.
Yeah.
So
it might be 17 now. I don't know.
You stay on top of it, man.
I tried it. I counted a couple months ago, so it could be more now.
Okay. Times change,
It's
right?
right about there, yeah. So about 2 of those are active. So I do part-time consulting, where I help people create game plans to do that. Ooh. And then I got I do this whole infinite banking stuff too that I've started to pick up, because actually that's why I came out of retirement the second time, is because the investor said, you need to teach all my people how to do this stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll do that.
And so you did.
So I did, yeah. So that became the second active stream of income.
So you still got 2 active, you got several not active, more passive,
more than a
residual.
dozen that are passive or residual. So
can we go through the 16? You don't have to go into detail, but list them off for me.
Categories, or
I'll try to do categories. That's easier.
Yeah.
So for example, I've got the passive. So that's my real estate. I've got real estate all over the country and stuff that pays me passive income from that. I've got other streams of income that I've got investment funds and things like that I put money in, right? And they'll kick me out a return.
Okay.
Whether it's quarterly or monthly, they're paying me out stuff, right? Those are more the passive. The residual I've got coming through the business, I've got online products, right?
Okay.
I've got stuff there on there. I've got residual income from recurring clients. They'll just pay me a retainer just to say, hey, I can email you when I want, like a phone a friend option, right?
Okay, I love it.
I've got income streams from affiliate, joint venture type stuff. So, people tend to send a lot of referrals and connections to. I'm like, hey, let's do a deal here, right?
Okay.
And so I get streams of income from that sometimes can exceed at least 5 figures a month, just that alone.
Wow.
So And that's the main categories. I know there's probably some more. I think I have like a network marketing company that even have like something through that.
And you get some dollar bills through that.
That's
too.
Occasional. Like I don't really build anything.
Hey,
so,
that's great, man.
But occasionally I'll see little random checks. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like it, you know.
So before I want to jump into some of these because I think I think it's fun for the viewers to hear.
Yeah.
What do you like more? Do you like your passive? Do you like your residual? Do you like your active? They're all different, of course.
They're all different.
What's your favorite?
I mean, I love the residual. There's no doubt, right? Like I love like setting up systems and then letting those things pay me and just kind of have them going. Oh yeah, sponsorships. That's through my podcast. I got money through there
and that's
too,
how
right?
I found you. I love your podcast.
Yeah.
You know, I like some of the infinite banking concept that you talk about.
Right.
So, you know.
So I mean,
think it's awesome.
So I love that stuff, but I mean, the reason that I feel on fire every day because when I first retired in 2016, like I was kind of looking for purpose again, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Okay,
And
I
I'm
love
40,
it.
you know?
Yeah.
You know? But I was like, what do I want to do? And that's the thing that gives you purpose, right? And that's where my active streams come in. It's like, what is that thing that could be of most highest use for everybody else?
Yeah.
You know? And that's the thing that like, because I'll tell you, like when I was working 5 or 10 hours a week because I didn't have to, it was just like part-time little bit stuff. My fire burned out. It fizzled, right?
Dude, can I relate to that?
Yeah. So if you work too much, you burn out, right? But if you work too little, you fizzle out. So you got to keep that fire burning just right. And that's why I was like, all right, I can do at least 10 to 20 hours a week of work. That keeps me engaged. Like I still feel I have purpose for life, but I'm not burning out. Like I still have lifestyle, which I think is key.
So what does retired mean to you, right? What does it mean to retire and then to come out of retirement? Is it 0 hours of work a week? Is it never having to worry about checking the bank account? What does that mean for you?
To me, retirement is that your residual or passive income streams can pay for all your expenses. Like you don't have to work, but you work because you want to, not because you have to. That to me is like being able to retire. And so that's what I think a lot of people think retirement is, right? It's kind of like, hey, I don't have to work anymore. I can just live on whatever I've got coming in, right? But that's what it is for me. You know?
Get to work.
I get to work.
How lucky for you, man, right?
That's the ironic thing is that when you don't need money, especially if you're an entrepreneur, the times that you don't need money is the times you'll make the most.
Oh, dude.
Like I make way more money now than I did when I was actively working overtime.
Yeah,
you know,
I believe it.
Because people actually want me to help them when I don't need money. It's weird.
Wow, man.
I actually love that.
That's fantastic.
I've never thought about that before.
So I'm a real estate guy. So talk real estate. What kind of real estate do you like?
So I love Turnkey. I know not everybody does because I have syndications I put money in and stuff like that.
Out of state.
Yeah, out of state Turnkey where I don't have to manage it. There's no property manager, or there's a property manager, but I'm not him, right?
All right.
I love that. Like I love being able to say that property looks good. That's gonna pay me at least 12% a year or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Cash on cash return, and I basically I don't even know the tenant's name really. I just sit back, collect the checks. You know?
You're not doing any renovations or anything. You're literally just buying finished, throw a tenant in their cash flow.
Exactly.
Is there a target cash flow you like to get?
At least 12% cash on cash.
And what does that look like in like a monthly? For is there a cash flow number?
Yeah. So for example, say that you put down $30,000, right? And I include closing costs as part of that money out of pocket. That investment money. So if it's $30,000, I'm paying for down payment, and closing costs. I want at least $300 a month coming back. It's that 1% per month rule, right?
That's pretty fantastic.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you will never find it on the western half of the United States. That's what I've found. Like I can't find it here very well. But if I go out east, like I've got properties in Memphis, I've got North Carolina, Alabama, places like that, where I can make great returns, and they're good properties.
And it sounds like you're leveraging your properties. You're not buying them cash.
Right.
Anything else you want to talk about specific to the real estate portion? I think that's pretty cool. $300 a month.
Yeah.
And you can just buy as many as you want, and they just keep popping out money.
Yeah, I think the thing that people don't get is that they hear the stories of real estate, right? They're like, I flipped this house, I made 80 grand. And so people see the big checks, people post them on social media and all that kind of stuff, right? And everybody gets hot and bothered by 80 grand. And they're like, I'm gonna fix and flip. The thing is, that's a crap load of work, and they don't even tell you that half the time those people don't make 80 grand, they end up writing a check for 10 grand, making nothing.
Yeah.
But you never see people posting checks of $300 a month.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that
that's not sexy.
It's not sexy at all, right?
Oh my gosh,
that sexiness does not sell.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like after the last recession, when I got burned, I went over $1 million in debt, and I had to dig out of that hole. That's why I had to retire twice, right?
Okay, yeah.
I went back in the rat race, I had to get back out again. But I'll tell you, like that I learned that the unsexy stuff is the sexiest stuff.
Yeah.
Like that $300 a month is awesome. Yeah, it might take a lot of properties to do that and different things, but still, it's way, way better to have that certain income coming in than hoping and praying that you might make money on a deal.
So it's time to get unsexy.
Time to get unsexy. So
unsexy is sexy.
So I got a question for you. So there's a lot of different like wealth, I guess, mentalities, right? There's some where it's like you grind, and then you have a big sell, and then you can live forever off the dividends. It sounds like you're more of like all the drips in the bucket. Get 50 drips, or in this case, 16, 18 drips in the bucket. Yeah. And each of those drips is going to add up to a flood eventually, right? Yeah. So tell me more about like your mentality there. How has that worked for you? How did you get started?
Yeah, I definitely am not a big fan of, okay, so there's balance, right? Like I get what Gary Vee says when he's like, work your A off, do it for like 50,000 hours a week, and die, and live on ramen, it's like, okay, that's intense.
That's a little too intense, man.
That's too intense. But I get what he's trying to say, because there's a whole generation of people, I think, that they could just see people like us and like, oh, I don't have to do anything. Like, I just sit around and just work 10, 20 hours a week and I'll live the life. Like, no, like, it's not like that. Like, there is work involved, but it doesn't have to mean that, hey, someday I'm going to do this. Someday I'm going to do that. Like, someday can be today. Right? Like, what can you do right now? And I'll tell you the thing that gave me a lot of hope. I read a book called 3 Feet from Gold, right? It's by two of my friends, Greg Reed and Sharon Lechter. You remember her? She co-wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like the Think and Grow Rich for the 21st century.
We know that book.
Yeah. So like so they're talking about that book. A lot of those success stories, like real success stories, the people would say it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. Right?
Oh, God. Isn't that funny?
Because like there's like this little flywheel concept, right? Like you gotta get that bicycle pedaling. It takes all the energy just to get you moving a little bit. As you start shifting gears, it goes faster and faster, right? And so I think that's the thing is like, you don't have to delay your life forever. You can still enjoy life now. Yeah. But still, sacrifice some things, at least put the effort in to get those returns. And I'm telling you, like, it doesn't look sexy. Just like $300 a month doesn't look sexy, right? Right. But when it starts to really get going, you start to compound on that income and stuff like that. That's when all of a sudden, like, the curve just goes up exponentially.
That's interesting. That's kind of how I feel. It's like there's a lot of books that are just like, like wear clothes from Goodwill. Yeah. And drive a old Civic, the 1992, like. Live off of nothing, take every dollar and dump it in the market. And I'm a little bit more of the mentality of it's okay to enjoy your life. Yeah. If you know that, there's that balance of putting X amount of your time and money back into another business for your next drip. Right. It's okay to take a little bit of your drip to go have some fun, to recharge, to get that next drip, right?
Yeah, it's about having that balance, right? And I'll tell you, like, if you got to do what you got to do it. I mean, I remember during the recession, right, when I was over like $16,000 in the hole each month, over $1 million in debt, right? Yeah. I mean, I turned in my Mercedes. I had a nice Mercedes. I just turned it into the dealership. I said, hey, you're gonna take it in a month anyways. Just here are the keys, take it, right? Yeah. And they auctioned off for like $40,000 less than it was worth. Than it was worth, so painful. Or than what I owed, And on top of that, like, I remember like the next day I'm getting a car from my friend that's like a $3,000 Hyundai. And it was rusting and everything. I mean, I'm the guy who's supposed to have it figured out, and I'm driving a crap car. That's fine, like it's temporary, it's not permanent. And I knew that. Like, once I detached myself from stuff and what it looks like on the outside, and I stopped giving a crap what other people thought of me, that's when I made more money. That's the ironic thing.
So talk more about that specifically. Yeah. How important was that for your journey to become retired again?
It was huge, and I never recommend it for anyone.
Is it important? Is it important for anyone else to do? You think?
I don't think so. I mean, everybody's going to have your own challenges, right? Like, we all do. Like, life will throw curves at you naturally. But I think for me it was awesome because I'd already retired once in 2006, right? And I only needed at that time like $4,000 a month to be retired. To do it again in 2016, I had to have like $15,000 a month to do it, right? So it was a different story. I had like a whole bunch more kids by that point. Yeah. But I mean, that little middle part, that crap that I had to go through, I mean, for me, it was evidence to say, hey, listen, I did it once. If I do it again, doesn't that just prove that it works? Right? It wasn't just a fluke, right? Because even in 2006, I remember when I retired the first time, I thought, did I just get lucky? Then I thought, no, like, this actually works. There's real principles here that work no matter what the time frame is or conditions. You can always apply those principles and make them work. And And that's what happened the second time
So
around.
it was easier to retire at time number 2.
It was harder and easier. Yeah, it took a lot longer, right? Because in 2009 I started digging out the hole, and it took another 7 years before I was out of it.
Sure.
And I was even with a divorce in 2015. You know, so that kind of like hit the reset button too.
Oh, gosh, I bet.
But I mean, once you understand it though, like it is way easier. You know, because I put my focus into after 2015 with all the divorce. I was like, I'm gonna kind of redo my whole business, do it the way I want to do it the way I feel is right, and go with my gut, not just listen to all these other voices and coaches say, do this, do that, you know, hustle, all that crap, right? It's like, I'm gonna do it my way. And it was only just about a year later I was able to retire, you know, even though I was almost restarting again.
So it looks like our driver got us back to...
she got bored. She's like, okay, that's enough.
We took her back. Tell our followers, how can they connect with you?
You know, best way is, I mean, one, I've got my podcast you mentioned, right? The Chris Miles Money Show. Definitely encourage you to follow that.
We'll put that in the description.
Yeah, there's over 400 episodes. I mean, take a pick. Binge the crap out of that, right? The other way is you can go to moneyripples.com. You can follow me on
I love that name, by the way. Money Ripples.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
That was an awesome, very blessed name to find. That's for sure.
Man.
Well, thank you, dude. I mean, this was fun. I love hearing about it. And thanks for joining our Limo Talk.
Absolutely.
All right, my man.
All right.
Is that a good time or what?
Awesome.
Hey, let's do it again.
Absolutely.
If you are a small business owner, we are looking for
you, baby.
We have developed a free course to help you take your small business and go national in just 2 to 4 months.
Learn exactly how licensing can take your business to the next level. We're talking explosive growth. Check out the link in the description. It's 100% free.